Where my anxious bitches at? Sup, girl? I see you. Me too. All right, let's talk about anxious intrusive thoughts, what they are, and how you can start to use your body to regulate your nervous system, your emotions, so that you can dissolve the intrusive thoughts and like get back to living your damn life, right? So I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible so it's the most effective. I have a regulation resource guide that gives you 18 different tools, practices that are body-based to help you regulate your nervous system so that you can regulate your emotions. And it allows you to work with mindset more effectively because you cannot mindset your way out of a trauma response. So if you are physically having all of your alarms go off, having just a mindset practice sometimes is not enough. What I found usually isn't, but when you use them together, it is so much more effective. So first and foremost is to, when you start feeling this way, is to literally shift your state in your nervous system by regulating your nervous system. So this can look like matching that amped up energy and going for a run or lifting some really heavy weights or doing something to literally shift you into your body and out of your head. This can also look like laying under a weighted blanket. This can look like taking an Epsom salt bath. All of those things to help you ground. So if you find that more soothing, grounding, slowing down of things helps you, weighted blanket, laying in the grass out in the sun, or if you're like, no, I need to move this energy and going for a run, finding the different practices. And I do list 18 different ways of this in my regulation resource guide. So go grab that. It's free. The next is you can also use small things like sucking on or chewing on sour candy or holding on to ice cubes and different things that help you ground into your body. If you have someone with you, a safe person who can look you in the eyes and have you start to notice, like, what do you see in the room? What do you smell? Have them help you breathing, like really having someone who knows that this is up for you and holding that space. But really it's your body, your nervous system is getting triggered. It's overwhelmed sensorily. And so when that happens, the mind then comes in and starts going. On the other side of the spectrum, if you have this that's kind of coinciding more around a depression side where you feel debilitated and it's like the anxious thoughts are like you can't even get out of bed or like taking showers, it like hurts your skin, because I've been there before where you're just like, ugh, like everything feels so heavy and so hard. That's where even in those moments, asking, just being like, if I can just get up and go for a walk and like move my body. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It can be super nourishing, but just having a support system within yourself and other people that can help like really walk you through when this is coming up for you. So let's take the shame out of this piece of our bodies are just getting overstimulated. So first and foremost is regulating your state, your nervous system, and your emotions, hand in hand with this practice of releasing it through a journal prompt. I know, mindset, but they, again, go better hand in hand. I learned this one from Anna Runkle. Her YouTube channel is The Crappy Childhood Fairy. If you haven't seen her stuff, I highly recommend her. She's amazing. She learned this in AA, but this is something that has truly helped me dump the anxious thoughts out. So it's literally journaling out, I have the fear that, filling in the blank, letting it flow. And then I resent, you can say person, place, or thing, or situationship. And then because I have fear that, writing it out. And once you feel like you're moving that through, then allowing yourself to say, I release this to God or cosmos or universe or sky daddy or whoever you creator, Allah, whatever you connect with or identify with as your co-creator and or your source, and allowing that to move through. If you are having a full-on, like almost panic attack kind of emotion, like really grounding yourself and using the regulation resources that I have around taking an ice bath or holding ice in your hands or different things to, in the moment, take care of your state and regulate your nervous system is going to be the most basic way to shift. But if you find that it's more your mind is racing and you can't calm your mind down, you're like, I'm going to die. Should I call an ambulance? And I might have a stroke or an aneurysm, or like, should I be those things? First and foremost, again, having someone that you know there with you to talk it through with them, be like, naming it. I feel like I'm dying right now. I feel like I don't know whether or not I should be calling, and like getting to voice it and really move through it. So just to prelude this a little bit, also over the last couple of years with the pandemic, we have all gone through things that culturally, globally, we've never gone through before as humans. And so now that we're in a safe space, right? It's like over, things are kind of calming down a little bit. That is usually when the fears of things or post-traumatic stress can pop up, because we finally feel like we're in a place where we can breathe again. And then our body's still like, but wait, we have this stuff that was happening, and we're used to having that like sensory overload. So first and foremost is to like just make that like available, in the sense of that could be a reason that I feel anxious, because we just went through a pretty traumatic thing globally where there was a lot of stress and a lot of fear of our body and health and different things like that. So really allowing this spaciousness around how that might have affected you unconsciously or in different ways, that now that it's calmed down a bit, you might have your body still having this like hype, right? Where it's just like, wait, we're supposed to be like survival mode and like staying healthy and all the things. So first and foremost, regulation resource guide, different ways you can regulate your state, your body. Second is to move through, I have fear that move through the journal prompts. If you're too anxious in that moment, speaking it with somebody, of having a safe person that you can just be like, yo, I am having a like major anxiety right now, and or taking a bath, and or laying under a weighted blanket, and or going for a run to move this through, right? It's really understanding what's going on in your body. And then the next, for me, that truly, really, truly, truly helped with me, that I can't really explain, is when I did Kambo. And I know this is like a literal into the wild experience as far as doing the Kambo, but within 3 days, I did one session per day, 3 days in a row, where the intrusive thoughts stopped. And I haven't had them since. So to add to this, I did have a little bit of an anxiety attack when I was in Las Vegas, the end of January, because my body was overstimulated. There was like so many people and so many lights and all the music, and like I was doing retreats around that time and had just gotten back from Mexico and was like kind of ping-ponging around, and it all just kind of hit me. I laid in bed at the hotel and was like, should I be calling an ambulance? Like I really truly was like, I don't know if I am literally like dying right now, or like I was having that moment. So I decided to take a bath and do some journaling and kind of laid there waiting. And so what I can say about this the most is having someone that you can call, or having these tools and practices and being able to like name it in the moment is really helpful to calm your nervous system, where it's not like I'm all alone, and if I don't call someone, I could potentially die in the moment, right? Because that's what it really feels like. So try on these practices, let me know how they work, and have these conversations with the intrusive thoughts. And like, I have the fear of that, and naming whatever's coming through and moving it through. And the more you can like actually journal out, write it out, and then move it through your body and like regulate your nervous system. Also, I'm just going to add really quickly, notice what things environmentally, on the news, food consumption, people consumption, social media consumption activate like you feel more anxious before and after. So if you are a coffee drinker, I know I love my coffee too, maybe cutting back or sometimes trading it out for decaf or different things, and noticing if it changes your sensitivities of anxiety, because it's a big one, because it's a stimulant. So anything coffee, chocolate, yerba mate, it's like different stimulants are gonna make you more sensitive to anxiety. Same thing with drinking alcohol. It is a depressant, but it still can cause more sensitive to anxiety or depression or different things. This could be different foods that you eat as well. If you're like eating more sugar or processed foods or refined carbohydrates like bread or different things, they have an effect on your body. And over time, as your body gets desensitized to these things and you have more of them, or you do them on a daily, weekly basis, at some point your body kind of gets to a point where it's like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. So just noticing too, like what you're consuming, whether it's sensorily or like actual eating in that you're consuming, that also has an effect. So you might notice that your intrusive thoughts happen a lot more when you're around maybe a family member who isn't healthy for you, or if you're alone a lot of the time, you might be feeling it. Or if you are on social media a lot and consuming other people's stuff, you might notice it. So using all of this and applying what feels good in the moment, what you find helpful, and really noticing what things help you the most. Drop it in the chat below. If you have questions, let me know. If there's things that I didn't name here that you want to add it in the comments, because it'll help other people watching. I can't wait to hear what my little anxious babies write in here, but I hope this helps. And again, I'll put the regulation resource guide. It's in my bio, but I'll put the link below as well. That'll give you body-based tools to work through this. And then if you have a curiosity on Kambo, I have a whole documentary series for both the 2 times that I've done it. And honestly, like it helps so much with the intrusive thoughts. And I go into the panema explanation of why that is in the documentary series. So wherever you're at on the spectrum with this, just know that your body is, it's your body's way of speaking to your mind, and your mind is just trying to keep you alive. And so it gets like, oh my God, if we're gonna die, alarm system's going off. So just understanding that that's what's happening, and the more you can use these practices to move you through that, it will help soothe that. And you can get to a point where you can start reversing so that it's not as common, it doesn't happen as often, and you can start to really relieve and release that. So I hope this finds you well today. Enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.